So this is another video I'm making. I was watching James Like Mondays after I applied to a bunch of jobs today. Um, and Mike Matei was talking about how he is sort of sick of all these remakes of the superhero movies of Batman and Spider-Man and all these remakes and whatnot. And I do understand that. I mean, it's sort of strange to see the same character being made over and over again. I mean, there are other original Hollywood films, but I'm wondering if it would be a better idea instead of making these movies where you're just either doing the same character and their origin story again, or just changing the plot for these characters. I wonder if it'd be wiser to do more crossover stuff that's happening now. So not just with like in the same universe, like in the Spidey universe, with the multiverse, or with Batman and the Flash, which is cool, and maybe going a little farther out than that. So maybe, I mean, there is a film where Batman meets the Ninja Turtles, which is one step forward in this direction, which is really good. I like that one. I saw that one. I wonder what else will be coming out in that realm also. I had thought of Batman and Star Wars would be kind of cool. Um, I did a video where Samus Aran fights Spider-Man, just two action figures that fight each other. That might be a cool crossover. I'm just thinking of the aesthetics right now, and then like how cool it would look. I'm not really thinking of plot. Although I did come up with a plot for the characters who are in New York City, and these aren't all part of the same universe, but I wrote an outline, and I don't know where this outline is, but I did write it. It's for a movie where all these characters that are found in New York City, Spider-Man, the Ghostbusters, Daredevil, the Mario Brothers before they go to the Mushroom Kingdom, and then who else did I have in there? Yeah, Spidey, Ghostbusters, Mario Brothers, Daredevil, and is that it? I have to find the notebook for that. I think there might be one more. Spidey, Ghostbusters, Mario Brothers, and Daredevil. Oh, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who are in New York City too. So that's the fifth one there. I thought that'd be a cool kind of movie where you'd have all these characters interact with each other. They basically, I'll try to remember the plot actually right now. I think the plot involves there is a ghost that's in there that I made for the story, who is an expired former bank robber. And in his ghostly form, he's like a really big green ghost with a ski mask and a gun and a sack to carry the cash in and all that. And he still robs banks as a ghost. So I had him for the Ghostbusters. I had Kingpin for Daredevil. And then I had Green Goblin for Spidey. And then I had the Koopas coming in from the Mushroom Kingdom and through the pipes for the Mario Brothers. And then for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I had Shredder and his foot soldiers. So each of these different characters all have their own villains counterparts for them. And so each would essentially fight them at the end of the film. And I'm really trying to remember the plot. It does involve um, the Mario Brothers working in the sewers at the time, and the Ninja Turtles are also in that same sewer, and they're close to each other. So the Mario Brothers are working on some pipes there. The Ninja Turtles are in their own home in the sewer, and then trying to remember the plot. I think the ghost that I had teams up with Kingpin, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to shut down all of the electricity in New York City so they can essentially like rob these banks. I don't know how well that would work, um, but my idea is that they would shut down all the security systems for the banks, and none of the policemen's radios would work. And it's set in the 1980s, so the high tech stuff isn't quite there yet. So I don't know. I don't know if that would be a good plot point or not. I mean, the lights would all be out, so they'd have to rob these banks at night. And I know there is security systems in the 80s, so I think that might work. But that's the plot. The Kingpin and this ghost that he meets somehow, perhaps through um, maybe Kingpin, one of Kingpin's henchmen tries to rob a bank, and then the ghost tries to rob one too, and then they meet and conflict, and then they eventually team up. But that's that plot there. They try to shut down all electricity in the city. But yeah, that's the main plot of it. And then the Mario Brothers and the Turtles are in the sewer. Spidey and Daredevil are also working together to try and because Daredevil gets some information from one of Kingpin's thugs during a bank robbery about this bigger plan to shut down the power in New York City. So Spidey, who is swinging around the city one day, encounters Daredevil, who essentially not traps him, but he encounters him in Hell's Kitchen when Spidey's swinging through there. Tells Spidey about the plot, thinks it might be more than what Daredevil can handle. Spidey, says, "Well, we should investigate this further. I'll try to do whatever I can to figure out what's going on." Um, And I think the Kingpin, for Green Goblin for the Spider-Man, just so all the characters have a villain to fight. I think the Kingpin just recruits the Green Goblin for this also, so that he can also rob banks. So the Ghost will rob one bank, Green Goblin will rob another. I think Kingpin also connects with Shredder somehow. I mean, Kingpin is kind of the big villain in this one because he can kind of branch out using all his connections. He tries to recruit Shredder also, who is a reluctant person, but eventually does. He uses Shredder's foot soldiers to rob all these other banks in New York City. Um, so I think that works. So you have Daredevil and the Kingpin. Green Goblin is recruited by Kingpin to rob some banks, just to get money, which I think would work. I think that might work. Maybe Doc Ock would work better for that. But you have that, and then you have Shredder and the Foot Soldiers also being used to rob the banks, and then you have the Ghost robbing the banks also. So that's four, and then the Mario Brothers are just sort of more of your comic relief. They're just sort of caught up in everything. But the Ninja Turtles also learn about this plan when they fight the foot soldiers one day, as they see them stealing some of this equipment, like this giant electromagnetic pulse machine. So they learn about this info also. The Turtles, I don't know how exactly they meet up with the Mario Brothers. I think the Mario Brothers they're not really involved in any of this at first. They don't really know anything at all. They're just sort of working on the pipes. They do see the turtles run by one day, which sort of frightens them and confuses them. I'm talking about the Ninja Turtles here, but they aren't really in it as much. But I guess I could put them in an equal amount. But yeah, I kind of figure them as kind of being clueless, not really involved in the main plot, just sort of talking with each other as they're plumbing and what they see, the turtles they see, sort of just talking about, day-to-day stuff, like what's going on in New York, what they're doing, and things like that. They do become involved in the end as the turtles from the Mushroom Kingdom come through the pipe, and they rush past the Mario Brothers. They go into the city and they start to just wander around the city. So the Mario Brothers try to do something about that. It is their job and it is their responsibility. So they, again, I don't want to give too much away, but if I don't really know if I'll ever write this myself, but I may someday. But that's just sort of my plot idea. Leave a comment if you're interested in that. Again, I wrote an outline for it. I am not like a Hollywood writer or anything, but that's just an idea that sort of sprung from my head one day that I wrote an outline for. So yeah, that's just a video that I wanted to share. But yeah, thanks for listening and watching. Feel free to like and subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment. That's it. Just wanted to share my idea. So thanks again, and I hope you have a good rest of the day.